school. And of course, we're celebrating tonight's Liverpool indoor track. We have so many different pieces, different elements of it. And we have three of those elements being represented here with these three student athletes that are here with me on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora at Avicolli's tonight. So starting all the way to my right and coming over this way, we have Tykere Jones for the throwing world. So Tykere, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good.
Happy to have you here. You are my, what fan of the NFL? Which?
The Steelers.
The Steelers?
Yes.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm surviving.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing all right?
Yeah.
We'll get back to that in a minute. We will, I promise. And then Thomas Nguyen here, pole vaulter. My first ever pole vaulter on the broadcast. Thomas, how are you?
It's a good pleasure. I'm great. How are you?
Happy to have you here. And then we also have Taj is back with me, but for a different sport. Taj Ryan here. And Taj, your name, one of the most interesting names that I've ever had.
Thank you.
Because you say Taj, but give me the full one.
Tajkeoni.
Tajkeoni. Where did your parents tell you where they got that name?
They put it together. It means Crown Prince John. I don't remember what language or
It
anything.
means Crown Prince John?
Yes.
That's pretty special.
Thank you.
That's pretty amazing. What do you think about that?
I like it. I like having a unique name.
Yeah.
I like being different.
Nothing like having Prince, and it's the second time that I've seen Prince connected to a name outside of Prince Tyson Gully, who was a running back for Syracuse, and a good friend of mine will be on the show on Wednesday. So,
Really?
yeah, another Prince there. And Taj comes to us from the high jump world, but you do a lot of different things.
I do. Yes.
Okay, so Taj, I'm going to start with you here.
All right.
High jump. Bring me into it because, again, I think in the world of indoor track, and when we talk about track and field and whatnot, people don't know the full effect of how difficult these things are. Oh, you just run. Oh, you just jump. There's a lot that goes into it. There's the raw talent, but there's also the training. What about the high jump do you feel like is maybe your favorite, why is that one of your maybe favorite elements of the track world? And tell us something that maybe we don't know about high jump, maybe in your preparation for it.
High jumps, most people just say it's just jumping up and down. It's not much, but it takes a lot of technique, a lot of effort, a lot of practice to form, different ways to approach the bar, different ways to jump over the bar. And it takes just a lot of technique that no one really looks at.
So what's your technique? How would you describe it?
I don't like to take a lot of steps or a lot of fast steps. I feel like I jump higher the shorter steps I take. It's strange. Most people take faster steps.
So you take more methodical, shorter steps.
Yeah, I don't like being far away from the bar and having to sprint that long to jump over it.
And some people feel like they need a running start, like you said.
Yes, most people
Why can you do it more so just almost going straight up, not having too much of that running start?
I've always been more of a naturally gifted jumper. I haven't really had to train much in jumping.
Okay. Is there anything that you do differently from the coaching staff that maybe they taught you? Because you said there's technique, so have you added anything?
Coach Howard wants me to take 10 steps and sprint the last 6. I can't really do that, so I take 8, a little bit of a jog.
Okay. Coach, are you okay with the fact that he didn't listen to you?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it? Okay, fair enough. Thomas, pole vaulting. I have always found this to be an amazing part of the track world. And people normally see it in the Olympics, obviously, but pole vaulting it seems like something that's really cool. And like I said, when it comes to jumping over, doing certain things that you shouldn't just have people doing in phys ed class, like going over hurdles.
Yeah.
Pole vaulting, I feel like someone would die if you did that and just had students do that. What got you into pole vaulting?
So I was a sprinter, and we were doing some core exercises. It was like a leg lift with an arch until our shoulder blades touched the floor. And Hammy's like, "Are you scared of heights?" And I was like, "No," because I was going pretty high up. I'm not really scared of heights. So he's like, "Try this out." And our old pole vault coach, Nick Pilata, was like, "I want you to come to pole vault." So I tried pole vault at the next season, and I fell in love with it.
So what was it about what you did that you think they saw was so special?
I'd say most of the people that are half-hearting the exercise, and I was going full effort, and I'm not scared or anything. I'm able to take risks. I was willing to try out pole vault, and I think that's the most important thing.
How do you the control, the confidence, you have to have. I mean, you have to have everything kind of work uniquely in your face. It can be scary. I think people see it on TV and they're like, "Oh man, I'd love to do that. It looks exhilarating." But then to actually have the technique to do it and to do it without like hurting yourself and just knowing where to kind of place your body, and I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and it seems just inhuman almost to do it. Like it can't be like a human bodily thing that we can do, but somehow some of us can do it, and obviously you can. How would you describe like the technique of it and just the intricacies of pole vaulting? Because it looks amazing, but it also looks kind of impossible too.
I'd say it just takes a while, a lot of practice. There's like multiple phases to the runs. So I'd say you're not utilizing just your arms or just your legs. There's like 7 different components all together. And all that, the most important thing is you just need time and practice. For example, Taj, he's a high jumper, but he also tried pole vault this season. And it took him a couple weeks just to get off the ground.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's just very complicated, but if you have the right coaches like Coach Howard that's open to help teach you, then you're gonna do great.
And how did you kind of get to that point where you could lift yourself off the ground? Because you have to propel your body. It's everything about the mechanics of it, just like the science of it all, is pretty incredible. So how did you kind of realize, hey, I can do this. I can lift my body up. I can get the angle that I need. I mean, how did you get to a place where you're comfortable with it?
We just did a bunch of core exercises at the beginning. Like we didn't even go towards like near the pit at all. We just did a bunch of exercises and holding the pole, trying to run with just the pole on the track to see how it felt. And we're just planting the pole near the mats to see how the pole bent.
Yeah.
And we just did like the fundamental mechanics before even trying our first jump. Previously.
What does that feel like going? I mean, when you put that pole into the ground and you bend it and you go up in the air, what does that feel like to like? I mean, you're catapulting yourself.
It just feels like you're floating on like a fluffy cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have to live vicariously through the very few people that can actually achieve this. Do you feel that, like when you're out there, do you feel like I'm in this world that is such a small percentage of people? Do you get a sense for that?
I'd say so, yeah. And I'd say so for my teammates as well. We've built a pretty close bond over the past few months and years. And I'd say it's everybody's that I've met at like meets or whatever, they're all pretty chill. And we all respect each other because we all know how hard pole vault is to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. I envy you. I'd love for you to you know what? If we could successfully get me to do it, I would do it. I really would.
You have to practice for a helmet.
Yeah. I will wear a helmet. I will put me in a bubble or something. All right.
Bubble wrap.
Tykere, how are you? How's everything? We talked about the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Now you are a thrower.
Yes.
When the team lost yesterday, did you practice throwing? Just to get some anger out, aggression.
I did. I probably should have.
I'm gonna say. I mean,
Yeah.
How far do you think your throw could have been yesterday after that game?
Probably 70 feet. I was pretty upset.
I love it. What's your record right now?
40.
40.
Yeah.
So you think you could almost double it?
Yeah. I'll probably went to Olympics.
Maybe the Steelers need to lose right before you got something going on here.
Maybe watch like the highlights of the game or something.
Yeah, you probably should go back and watch it. Are you Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, or somebody else?
I like Justin Fields. I think it's more upside.
Okay.
I like Russ. He's a veteran in the locker room, but I think Justin is the future.
So you're okay if they stay with Justin?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I mean, he's raw talent. He's very talented. I think give him like a good quarterback coach, good O coordinator.
Yeah.
He could turn into a star.
How are you dealing with this? All right. I mean, it was the Ravens. It was round 3. You got one. The Ravens got one, and then the Ravens got this one.
Yeah.
So 2-part question. Thoughts on the fact that you at least split in the regular season? Secondly, how good is Lamar Jackson?
Well, I think Lamar is MVP over Josh Allen.
Okay.
Me personally.
Okay.
But I mean, the first game, we got lucky. Justin Tucker missed field goals, and they couldn't capitalize in the red zone.
Yeah.
But hey, a win is a win. Divisional win. Yeah, I was happy with it.
How humble you are to say that you capitalized off of mistakes that another team made, and you just gave credit to Lamar Jackson.
I personally, I love Lamar Jackson. He's a great player. I have a lot of respect. I don't like the Ravens though, but
Yeah.
I like Lamar. A lot of
Well, I
respect.
can tell you, I was telling your coaching staff, I covered Lamar and interviewed him when he was at Louisville, and when he went into the league, I went on my show on Wake Up Call in the morning, and said he's going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL, and I felt like I was sitting there with like two crickets, and now everybody almost is all Lamar.
Yeah.
But it feels good to look back on him and say, I saw it. And one of the best mic drop moments of anything ever in the history of the world is when Lamar had 5 touchdowns at the beginning of his career in a game. And one of the media members said, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I guess I'm pretty good for a running back." I love that.
Yes.
Because they said that he couldn't do anything, couldn't pass the ball.
Right.
So, Tykere, for you, you're in the throwing world. How'd you get into it?
Sophomore year, Coach Cabrera, my old football coach, he coached me on JV.
Yeah.
He at the end of the season, he came up to me in college. He said he liked our physical traits for bigger guys, and he got us into it. That's the story.
And you talk about like throwing has that power,
Right.
right? But not anybody can do it.
Right.
So how did you realize, okay, I can handle this thing? Like when was it kind of in the world of the high jump, as we were talking about with Taj, where it's like, I just went out there and I'm like, hey, I could do this thing. I mean, did you kind of just go out there and say, I'll give it a shot raw and see what happens, or how did it all come about?
I think it was like trial and error. I first started off. I mean, I think anyone who's first starting off at throwing isn't very good. No matter how strong you are, is very technique driven. But over time, I got better and better, and yeah.
What's your technique? How would you describe it?
You just got to be fast in the circle. It's more speed getting from the back to the front quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, strength and power is a big part of it, but I think more technique and speed, getting A to B, is a huge part of it.
Looking at your talent, knowing your ability and your strength, if you could throw any object, what would you choose to throw? Like if you could throw something, like something we see every day. If you could throw anything to show, like, yeah, I got it like that, what would you throw?
Probably a football. I think I could throw a football pretty far.
Okay. All right.
It's basic, but I think I'd be most successful at that.
With a football?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Before we get into rapid fire, I want to hear your thoughts on the coaches. Tykere, I'm going to stay with you. By name, tell me about your coaches.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Coach Howard. He was the outdoor throwing coach. He's a crazy guy. He could get you fired up any moment. Matter if you're having a bad day, he motivates you, get you going.
Yeah.
Same thing during football too. He really get me up before the games. Coach Arnold, my throwing coach now, probably the most chill coach I ever had. You could go walk up to him and crack a joke, he'd laugh with you. Coach Lewis, you could have a conversation with him anytime. Always has a smile on his face, always happy. And Coach Ham, I don't talk to Coach Hamilton much, but he's a great guy overall. You can always go to him for anything. Overall, great person.
All right, fair enough. I like it. So we'll continue that conversation here, and I'd love to hear from you, Thomas, about your coaches.
Yeah, so I have to give a big shout out to my coach right now, Coach Howard. He taught me that I still have a lot to learn in pole vault, and he's really good at motivating. Even in weight rooms, he's just telling me, don't take a break, or he's correcting my form during split squats.
Okay.
And I really appreciate him. Like he gives a new perspective to making myself a better athlete. And I'd like to give another shout out to my old pole vault coach, Nick Pilata. And as Tosh knows, that Nick is really chill. I could talk to him about anything, and he's just basically like our friend. And we could talk to him about anything, and yeah, like that. And my first ever coach, Coach Hamilton,
Yeah.
he's serious, but as you get to know him, he's like a turtle in his shell. It begins to crack a little bit. But whenever I did a running workout, I'd hear his like keys jingle right behind me, and I'm like, oh shoot, Hamilton's right here. You gotta sprint as fast as you can. It's like you get double speed. And I'd like to give another shout out to Coach Lewis. Sometimes during the meets, I see him occasionally, and we'd say, what's up, and he'd give me good luck, and I really appreciate it. It's another boost in my game.
I love it. I appreciate these very much. Taj, tell me about your coaches.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
First off, Coach. I don't think it's working.
No. It says, you're good.
Magic touch. Anyways, Coach Lewis, you can have a conversation with him at any time. He's always there, always checking on you. Like, I don't know him that well this year. I haven't run distance yet.
Okay.
He's always, I have to go front bar.
He said, yeah.
And then Coach Arnold, I remember last week. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. I've been focusing on sprinting and jumping and hurdles and all that stuff. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. He seemed pretty disappointed. I haven't been with him for a while. And then he's very chill, but he makes sure we get our work done, helps us work out, teaches us form, gives us effort in the weight room. And then Coach Howard, he's that should be an adjective as itself. I've had him for the past probably year straight. I've seen him every week for sure.
Okay.
He's been encouraging me as an athlete,
I like
working hard.
Coach Howard is an adjective.
It
Nice.
has to be an adjective.
Okay.
And then Coach Hamilton, he's pretty serious when he starts at home. And I remember my first year, I thought he was pretty strict and mean. But then you get to know him, you're just trying to make sure you don't mess around, make sure you get what you have to do. Because it is a sport. It's not just hanging out, having fun. It is having fun, but it's also a sport.
All right, fair enough. Well, I do want to hear from these coaches as well, so we're going to go right into rapid fire.
All right.
Taj, you can ask me the first question.
If you could be the team manager of the worst team in the NFL right now, who would you say that would be, and what would you do to fix it?
Oh, it's the Panthers, probably. But it's the Panthers or the Titans. But the Titans made two crucial mistakes. They fired Mike Vrabel, and they got rid of Derrick Henry because he was too old. He was 30. So, stupid. I mean, Derrick Henry's a 2,000-yard back now, and after this game this past weekend. And not only is he a 2,000-yard back, he has, almost 20 touchdowns rushing on the season, and Tennessee is the worst team in the NFL, so that goes to show you how well that worked out. So, but I mean, I'd probably say Carolina's the overall worst team. What would I do if I was managing that team? I'd have to find another quarterback to push Bryce Young. I'd have those two guys in the room together. We'd have to work on a lot of things. I'd have to work on my offensive line. I would have to find if anyone was on the staff that got rid of Christian McCaffrey and talk to them.
Okay.
And I believe in second chances. So we'd have to find a running back. We would have to find a quarterback or at least a battle. And we'd have to figure out what's going on with personnel, because ultimately I can't blame my athletes when the team is that bad year in, year out with different management, different head coaches, different quarterbacks. So I'd have to look at my front office personnel and see if there's any viruses in my building, and you got to get rid of viruses.
Yep.
That's what I would do. My question back to you, Tosh. Okay. Well, I'm a Jaguar fan. So if you were the owner, you say that sucks?
It does.
I heard him. I have the ears of an Italian Catholic mother. I really do. My mom's got those ears, and she gave them to me. So I don't disagree with you. I'm very impartial as a broadcaster. So I honestly think people probably think I've been very critical of Jacksonville this year. But keeping with that, if you were the general manager of the Jaguars, what is the first move that you would make, Taj?
I'd probably go quarterback, as you said, for the Panthers.
Okay, so you don't want Trevor.
I think he needs a veteran.
Okay.
I don't know. He's a little.
Okay.
Make some interesting decisions. I've seen him play a few times against a few teams. I'd be like, what is he doing?
Okay, so who would you put on the team? If you're going to go get a veteran, who would you bring in?
I'd say someone like Aaron Rodgers, who's Very,
Thank you,
very
man.
well. Not to play, but to like help him in
Just to
practice,
be
teach
there.
him get his IQ up.
Okay.
I think that's a good move.
Okay.
What about Mr. Unlimited from the Vikings, man? That makes sense.
Yes, from the
From
Vikings fan,
Vikings
that
fan,
makes
that
sense.
is- okay. Fair enough. By the way, shout out to Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
The guy's been incredible. And once again shows that the Jets are the problem, not the quarterback.
Yes, I agree.
So,
I agree. Colin Toxie.
okay, so now we're going to go to. Apparently, I struck back, but I didn't know you were a Jets fan. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just being real. So, all right, Thomas, what's your question for me?
Anything?
Anything in the world. I don't like the way you smiled when you said anything.
No. All right. Did you always see yourself as becoming a podcaster, or did you have other thoughts?
There's a lot of, well, like I said before, there's a lot of different things that I want to do. But, I mean, to me, broadcasting is broadcasting. I've been on traditional radio. I've worked behind the scenes on television. You know, now we do internet radio and internet TV. We got to the internet a lot earlier than a lot of people. Got to podcasting before it was popular, before it was understood. I blame my former producer for that, Nick Cicero, because he told me to do it, so thank you to Nick. But, I mean, I like telling stories. I like bringing people together. I like making people laugh. I like putting people in the spotlight and helping people to feel seen and understood. I believe in equality. I believe in equal representation. I believe in honesty, integrity, faith. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I was always meant to share a message, and God's given me a lot of opportunities to do that. My question back to you, Thomas. If you could have anyone on your team sing a song about you, who would you trust to sing a song about your life?
Sing a song. I'd
Yeah.
say I have another pole vaulter. His name is Jamal Esperance.
Okay. Okay. Why would you want Jamal to sing a song about you?
I wouldn't say he has the best singing voice.
Okay.
It's very squeaky,
It's
but
very sweet.
he has a lot
Okay.
to say.
He has a lot to say. Do you think he
Yeah.
would be nice to you, or do you think he would roast you?
I think he would roast me.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
for sure,
enough.
for sure.
Okay. All right. Tykere, you get the final question to me, and then I'll ask you one.
What's your thoughts on Mike Tomlin? Do you think the Steelers should keep him or get rid of him and bring someone else in?
Oh, man, I mean, is there anybody that's been more successful consistently than Mike Tomlin? What is it that he's had 80 wins in the last 8 seasons in the regular season? But the problem is he's struggled in the postseason, right? So, you know, I think the what have you done for me lately, I don't really like those people.
Right.
And I think that Mike Tomlin, I'm going to put it to you like this. I don't fully blame Mike Tomlin for the woes of the Steelers, because you can have every position right, but the one position you can't get wrong is your quarterback.
Right.
And Kenny Pickett didn't work, and Russell Wilson and Justin Fields don't work individually, they work together.
Right.
So they really haven't had an answer since Ben Roethlisberger finished up, right?
Right.
So am I going to blame Mike Tomlin that the Steelers lost to a generational quarterback and one of the best teams in the country? No. I think Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I think that Mike Tomlin, if I had a franchise right now and the Steelers were dumb enough to let him go, I would hire him immediately.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with Mike Tomlin. I definitely think that it's funny you asked me a question, because I feel like right now, with the way that the world is, I think people are apt to like ask the question, has he been there too long?
Right.
And I think that's stupid. I really do. I think Mike Tomlin should leave on his own when he's ready. If he wants to go to another team, then that would be his decision. But I think that the Steelers have to provide him the talent, especially at quarterback, if they have an expectation. And with all due respect, Najee Harris has not held up his end of the bargain. He had a horrible game. He had 6 carries for 17 yards. They ran for 29 yards against a team that had 299 rushing yards. So honestly, the Steelers, to me, they have to figure out their backfield, they have to figure out their signal caller, and they need to stop blaming Mike Tomlin.
I agree.
So, my question back to you, if you could interview any 3, let's say you took over Wake Up Call, my show, for a day, and you're going to interview 3 Steelers, any Steelers of all time, what 3 Steelers would you interview and why?
Well, first of all, Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, like it.
you know, I grew up watching Big Ben my whole life until Kenny Pickett came in. Then probably Jerome Bennett. I love Jerome Bennett.
The boss.
Yeah. And Ryan Shazier, I think he was a great linebacker before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And we played the same position. So, yeah, I grew up watching Ryan Shazier, and I'd love to talk to him.
I love those answers. The thing about being a Steelers fan, no matter how many people knock you, you have so many All-Pros that you can't really have a bad answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, and with the answers that you guys have given, I want to thank Taj, Thomas, and Tykere for being here with us in this Liverpool indoor track special from Avicolli's on Wake Up Call. Please show some love for these gentlemen. Clap it up for them. We got the coaches coming up here. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And we'll be back right after this. Good job, guys.